I used to try to make cute holiday special event videos with Michelle and Allie, but years ago Michelle said she didn't want to be in videos anymore, and now we've lost Allie, so it's just me. So how am I going to do a cute video with just me? But anyway, recently I started a new hobby, needle felting, so I thought maybe I can make a needle felted animal for each special occasion. So now St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and I'm part Irish, so we usually celebrate just by wearing green. So I thought I'd make a little green teddy bear. Now, I apologize if this seems rushed and chaotic, but it's only because I feel rushed and chaotic. I don't want this to be too long, because long videos, it takes too long to edit and everything, and nobody watches them anyway, so I want it to be short and sweet, but I still want to show how to, all the steps, how to make a bear. Now, I've made a few teddy bears already. This was one of the first things that I made because I had this beige wool, and I thought, oh, make a teddy bear. Teddy bears are so cute, and they're comforting, and in these uncertain, troubled times, everyone could use some comforting, adults and children alike. Anyways, I thought needle felting, it's such a nice hobby, it's a nice distraction, and using wool is something that's sustainable and plentiful and renewable, so it's nice rather than buying something that's mass-produced. I'm trying to consume less, so you can create your own little stuffies, and it's a lot cheaper because everything's more expensive. And so yeah, and you can make a little green bear. I'm going to make a green bear for St. Patrick's Day. If you don't want to make it green, you could make it whatever color you want. I made this multicolored bear with all different colors of wool. I don't know if this is going to show up. I'd made this brown bear. This was supposed to be more of a realistic bear. This little paws and everything. I don't know if this is going to show up. And I made this tiny little bear. Now this was straight from wool. This was just the wool. Now if you want to work straight from wool, you can. It's just depending on the size, it's going to use up a lot of wool, and wool is more expensive. So what I'm using as a base, you can either get it cheap core wool, or I use stuffing like polyfill stuffing, and it works, and I'll show you. Like, you get this cloud of fluff and you can actually turn it into a sculpture. Now, I'm an artist. I draw, paint, sculpt, whatever, but even if you're not an artistic person, you can still do this. Like, basically you're making balls, like snowballs. You make a ball, and then you add it together, just like building a snowman. And I'll show you all the steps, and it's easy. Anyone can do it, and these make nice gifts, and it's something that's personal, one of a kind, handmade. And if it doesn't turn out perfect, it's okay. Like, if it's quirky, that gives it more character. So everyone's is going to be a little bit different, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to make a little green bear, and hopefully this won't be too long. Okay, so you can decide how big or small you want to make it. Again, you can work straight from the wool, and the advantage of that is you don't have to fill in gaps of the white if you're using a core wool, but again, it will use up more wool. So I like to use the polyfill because it's cheap and plentiful, and it works really well. So the only colors you need for this, so you've got your core wool if you're using core wool, and then the green, obviously, for the bear. You just need a tiny bit of black for the eyes and nose, and then the tiniest little speck of white just for the catchlight in the eyes, and that's it. Now, if you're just getting started with needle felting, probably the best thing to do is to get a kit, because it usually comes with all the things you need. So you get the finger guards, and definitely you want to have them, because trust me, you will end up stabbing yourself with the needle, and it's not fun. Even with these on, you can stab yourself, but it does less damage. So you'll get the finger guards and a needle. Now, you might just have a plain, this up now. You might just have a plain needle, and that works. Like, you can use it like that, or it might come with a wooden tool that you can put the needle in. Or if you're really fancy and you're going to be doing a lot of things, I love this thing. This has this wooden tool can hold 6 needles, so you can work 6 times faster. And I'm not a patient person, so if there's a faster way to do something, I'm all about that. So, and also you'll have a felting pad. Now, I had another one, it was really wrapped, and I saw that some people were using a brush one, and I like the brush one as well, so I got a brush. But whatever you have, just make sure that you've got a flat surface, you're protected, and your fingers are protected. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. Hopefully the camera focuses where I want it to. So you're going to have a needle. They come in different gauges from 36 to like 42. The lower the number, the more coarse it is. So you want to use that for the core work. And then the higher numbers, you use it for the detailed work when you're finishing. But really, if you're lazy like me and you just want to use the same needle for everything, you can do that too. So just maybe pick one in the middle, like a 40 or something. So you start off with a clump of wool, and you kind of guesstimate how much you need. What you can do is you can start off by making the head or the body, or what you can do is get a clump and then see, okay, if this is too big for what I wanted the head to be, then you can use that for the body or whatever, just play by ear. So even if you just have a single needle, you can work that way. Just, it's going to take a long time. I'm very impatient, and now that I've discovered this thing is amazing. Like, look how fast it comes together. So you just keep working until it becomes a ball. And you just kind of turn it around until it becomes a ball. So what the needle does, it pushes in the fibers, it tangles them together and makes it more dense and turns it into a shape. So then you end up with a ball. Now I'm going to use that for the body. And then you'll make a smaller ball for the head. So you get a smaller bit of wool for the head. And then if it's too small, you can always add more. Like if you find, okay, that's way too small, you just add more fluff and just keep adding more till it's the right size. So this looks like it's going to be too small, so you just add some more. And just watch your fingers. But there's something satisfying about taking this formless cloud and turning it into a shape and making it into a cute animal. And I love teddy bears. I've always loved teddy bears. As a child, I had a teddy bear that was very important to me, and that I confided in when I was upset. And I think even as an adult, it's nice to have a teddy bear around, something cute and comforting, either in your office or even in your purse or just looking at you. Because the world, frankly, now is kind of a nightmare, and we could all use some comforting. And of course, it's a nice gift for children as well. Just, you can get eyes to go in the stuffed bear, but if you're giving it to children especially, you shouldn't have any small parts. And you can just make eyes out of the wool and felt that in. So anyway, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so once you have the head and the body, and they're about the right size and you're happy with them, you're going to attach the head to the body. So I just take a little bit of fluff, put it in between. Now you can pin the things together, which I probably should do to keep it in place. Just make sure you don't felt the pins in, that you can't get them out again after. Just have a couple of pins to keep it in place. Now for this part, you can't really use this for this part. You need a single needle. So what you're going to do, you're going to press them together, and you're just going to kind of put the needle, poke it through the top through to the bottom one. So, and eventually as you go around, that's going to fasten them together. I've heard of some people using glue or whatever. I don't like doing that. I just use the felting, and it will stick them together eventually. So you just keep going around until it's attached. That's probably attached enough now that I don't need these pins. And you just keep going around. So the little bit of extra fluff that's sticking out, that's going to help to join them together and just to cover up the seam, although it's going to be covered up with the top wool anyway, but you just want to make sure it's really secure. You don't want the bear's head falling off. So once you feel like the head is attached well enough to the body, we're going to make a little muzzle for the face. So get just a tiny little bit of wool, and you're just going to get that down to a small ball. And then once you're happy with the size of the muzzle, so it just goes on the bottom half of the face. Again, I guess we'll put a pin to keep it in place. So can put a pin to secure it in place. That looks like a little nose there. And then you're just going to felt that in the same way as you attached the head to the body. Now you attach the muzzle. Now it will kind of squish down as you're putting it on. If it's not sticking out enough, you can add a little bit more. I'm going to have to add a little bit more because I don't think it's sticking out enough. Because the more you poke it in, the more dense it becomes and it gets smaller. So I'm just going to take a little more fuzz and I'm just going to add that so his muzzle sticks out a little bit better. And again, nothing has to be perfect. It's just a cute little bear, and if it's got flaws, that's okay. It gives it character, and don't expect it to look exactly like mine. Like even when I make bears, no two are ever exactly the same. They're always a little different. So once we've got, once you've got the muzzle on there, we're going to add our top color. So I'm going to add the green, and I like a nice Kelly green for St. Patrick's Day. Just seems like a more St. Patrick's Day color. So you're just going to tear off some of the wool and you're just going to try to cover them up. And it's going to take a while, and like some of the white will show through, but you can always fill in the bare spots, get it? With more of the color. Again, if you work straight from the wool, which you can do if you want, then you don't have to worry about filling in spots, but you're going to use up more wool. And the wool, like this is called wool roving, especially for needle felting. It is more expensive than like just using stuffing or a really cheap core wool. Like this is a nicer, softer wool. So you just keep adding more wool, and I'm trying to do this quickly for the video, but yeah, you just keep adding until it's covered. So you just keep going around until it's covered, and then just fill in the bare spots where there's any white. So now we're going to make ears, so just get a tiny little bit of wool and just make that into a small round disc. So once you have your ears pretty much done, you just kind of poke them in the middle to make kind of an indentation. And then as far as the sides, because it's pretty frazzled at the edges, you can either just put it between your leather fingers, or you can get some cardboard folded over and put it in there, and then just go around the outside and just poke those frayed edges in. This will make the ear a little bit smaller and more dense and just hold it together better. It's hard when you're working with something so small, but again, protect your fingers, have the cardboard, your leather things, and just go around the outside until the ear is done. Okay, so once you've finished off the edges, there's the ears. They look a little bit big, but once you put them on, they'll get a little bit smaller. So it's easier to put the color on when they're flat rather than on the head, because it's going to be hard enough attaching them to the head. So we're going to put the color on the ears and then attach them to the head. So just get some green and wrap it around, or whatever color you're using. Maybe you're not doing a St. Patrick's Day bear, maybe you're just doing a regular teddy bear. You can do it any color you want. So once you have your ears, we're going to attach them, so maybe pin them on. Okay, so pin the ears on. Now they do look a little big, but they're going to get a bit smaller as you felt them on. What you can do is take a little bit of wool just to try to hide the seam and to help it to connect together better. So when you start felting it on, you just have that wool there just to hide the seam and help it hold together. Okay, so now we're going to make the arms. So get a little bit of the wool or the stuffing and make a little ball. So you're going to make a little ball for each of the paws, and then just to make a little bit of an arm attached, we're just going to get a little bit more of the wool and attach that on. So once you have the arms made, you just have that little bit of wool attached to the ball at the end. We're going to add the wool on top before we attach it because it's just easier that way, just like with the ears. So just get some wool and cover them up. So the arms look kind of huge, but that's okay. And maybe leave some loose wool at the edge because you're going to be attaching it anyway. So yeah, he's gonna have big arms. He's a muscular bear. But anyways, I'm going to attach them, and then we're just going to do little ball feet. So the bear's coming along. Now he's got arms, really big arms. And then for the feet, I'm not even going to do legs. I'm just going to do feet, just little ball feet. So just get some wool and just make a ball. So the ball feet are just going to go at the front, and that'll stabilize them, and those will be his feet. But we're going to put the green on before we attach them. So once you have the feet done, then you can attach them to the body. So you can use pins again. So our little bear is almost done. Now comes my favorite part. The most fun part is putting on the face. So think about where you want to have the eyes, and then just kind of felt in, make a little hole for where the eyes are going to go, just to have an idea. So, and then we're going to make eyes and a nose. So now the fun part, just get a little bit of wool for the nose and the eyes. So the nose is just a little oval on the muzzle, and then the eyes, just two balls. So try putting the nose on here. So, and then you can just add more wool until it's the size you want. Then get just the tiniest little bit of white and make a little ball, and that's just going to be the catch light in the corner of the eyes. Just makes it more cute and more realistic. Okay, and for the mouth, just going to make a little line, just poke along a little line under the nose. And that's going to be the mouth. And you can either turn it up in a smile, or I always like to make them look a little bit sad. I think it's cuter when they're sad. Then you just get the tiniest little thread of black wool, and we're just going to poke that in. So that's going to be just the line underneath the nose. So there you have it. Didn't quite turn out as planned, but he's still cute. And I thought it would be cute to make a little, I made a little St. Patrick's Day hat. and a little pot of gold with a rainbow. It didn't turn out that well, but and a little shamrock. But yeah, so have fun with needle felting. Happy St. Patrick's Day if you're Irish or you just like green or whatever. So yeah, happy needle felting, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just have fun with it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.